All right, so we're diving deep today into something pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Transgender athletes in women's sports.
Right.
You send over some articles, and it seems we're focusing on high school volleyball.
Yeah. Specifically, we're looking at a case in New York at Clarkstown High School North,
Okay.
and we're going to be hearing primarily from the female athletes and their parents.
Got it. So Clarkstown High School North,
Mm-hmm.
transgender student, joins the girls' volleyball team.
Yep.
And this is where things get a little messy, right?
Yeah, some of the girls actually quit the team,
Oh, wow.
saying they felt like they couldn't compete fairly.
I see.
One girl, Mary Koff, even testified at a school board meeting,
Really?
and her testimony is powerful. You can just hear the frustration in her voice.
What did she say?
Well, she talked about how her senior season was ruined,
Oh, wow.
and that she felt like there was this sense of favoritism towards the transgender athlete from the coaching staff. It is. And she also pointed out that this particular transgender student had actually participated in boys, tennis, volleyball, and cross country before transitioning.
Huh. So she was already a pretty serious athlete before transitioning.
It seems like it. And I think that's really fueling some of the debate around competitive advantage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what about parents? What are they saying?
Well, one parent said something that really stuck with me, and I'm going to quote them here.
Okay.
You can't take strength out of a boy. You can pump this child with as much estrogen as you want. You can't take strength out of a child.
Wow. That's a really strong statement.
It is.
But is there any science to back that up?
Well, that's where things get complicated. On the one hand, we know that on average, biological males tend to have greater bone density, muscle mass, and lung capacity
Right.
than biological females,
Even after transitioning?
even after gender transition. And while hormone therapy can reduce some of those differences,
Sure.
the research on its exact effects on athletic performance is still kind of up in the air. So some studies suggest that there might be some leftover advantages,
I see.
while others argue that those differences become pretty much insignificant.
So it's not a simple yes or no answer.
Exactly. It's much more nuanced than that.
Right. Because every athlete is different.
Exactly. You can't just generalize.
Okay, so this all brings us to the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this isn't just happening at Clarkstown.
No, this is happening all over the country.
Even globally.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we balance inclusion for transgender athletes with fairness for all the other athletes?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
There's no easy answer.
Right.
On one side, you have advocates for transgender athletes arguing that participation aligns with their gender identity
Right.
and that excluding them is discriminatory.
Okay.
And then on the other side, you have people who are concerned about maintaining a level playing field.
Especially in sports where strength and size are a factor.
Exactly.
It's like everyone agrees that fairness is important.
Yeah.
But they have different ideas about what that fairness should look like.
Exactly. And because this is such a sensitive and nuanced topic, it's easy to see why emotions run so high.
Absolutely. Well, thinking back to those volleyball players at Clarkstown,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine what they must have been going through. It's not just about winning or losing.
Right.
It's about their own personal experiences and their own sense of what's fair.
You hit the nail on the head. It really highlights the human side of this whole debate.
Yeah.
You know, behind all the headlines and policy discussions, there are real people just trying to find their place in the world of sports.
So true.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, if you were in charge of making a policy for high school athletics, where would you even begin?
Oh, man.
What would you prioritize? I don't know about you, but that seems like a lot of pressure.
It really does. There's a lot to consider.
A lot to consider indeed.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Mhm.
thanks for taking this deep dive with me.
Of course. Anytime.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. And be sure to check out the show notes for more information.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.